So, I've got all these figures. I'm finally making a comeback. And I have all these as an option. I really, really am looking forward to doing it all. But I'm lazy, so let's go ahead and make it easy. Hey guys, what's up? BC coming back at you guys with a first in a while Transformers video review, and today we are going to be taking a look at the Legacy United Autobots Unite 5-pack HOUND. And the reason why I'm choosing to do HOUND first is entirely because, well, he's the selling point of the entire 5-pack. So at this point, it makes more sense to do him than it would to do all the others, which while I do intend to do the others, with them, it's literally more or less a case of I'd only really be pointing out all of what makes them different and why I personally feel you should be getting the 5-pack versions instead. But that's just me, so hopefully you guys will be sticking around for the road. So with that said, let's go ahead and get started. Now here he is in the Jeep mode. And in case you couldn't already tell, he's basically a very heavy retool of the Siege HOUND figure. Which, if anybody remembers that figure, we all know that that Siege HOUND figure, provided it's not the Netflix version, was kind of a banger. If memory serves me right, when Siege came out, he was actually the first deluxe, one of the first deluxes I got from that line, and I fell in love with him. So, yeah, I'm very glad that I have this again, in a sense. So, yeah, overall, there's the vehicle mode, and in case you couldn't tell, it's been a while. I haven't done this, so I really don't have anything vehicle mode wise to compare him. Well, actually, that's not 100% true. So here is Legacy United HOUND, and here is, entirely because I have it in vehicle mode, this is actually going to be going to Aladar at some point. Let me just get a few things moved back into place. There we go. Here is Energon Landquake, and yeah. So there you go. That should give you a general idea of what you're dealing with size-wise. Banger of a toy, by the way. Anyways, so yeah, there's the vehicle mode. Really don't got much else to say on it, so let's go into the transformation, shall we? And there's the robot mode. Now, obviously, as you can see, he's very, very much G1 in his appearance. And that is kind of the selling point, where it's basically a G1 Earth mode HOUND. Again, it's literally the whole point to the entirety of the figure, but how does the figure itself feel and function? And, well, I don't know what else to tell you guys other than it functions perfectly fine. There's nothing wrong with it. In fact, of the entirety of the 5-pack, he is my favorite. And it's not just because of the fact that I've already experienced it as the Siege mold. I really, really like this toy as a whole. He's fun to mess with. He's fun to flip back and forth. I just really, really like this guy as a toy. So, all in all, let's get a closer look at the details here. So let's get a look at his head, and I hope you guys are liking the 60 frames per second here. So anyways, yeah, let's get a look at that head sculpt, and this is so proper G1 Hound. It is not even funny. I love this. It's so good. It is so good. Obviously, as you can see, the very abundant Jeep chest. Now, one thing I'm going to mention about the proportions, and I know it's weird to hear me mention anything bad about proportions, because 9 times out of 10, I really don't care. I mean, come on. One of my all-time favorite Transformers characters of all time is X-Brawn from Robots in Disguise, and he's got a giant left arm, so this is going to sound weird coming out of me, so just bear with me. I feel his shoulders are a little high up. It's not a deal breaker, but just he definitely feels like he's shrugging a lot, and that's just me. It's just me. It's no big deal. Anyway, so yeah, the head looks great. It's on a ball joint, but it's so deeply recessed in there, you really don't get much movement out of it. So, like, realistically, he only gets, like, the standard looking left to right. He really doesn't get much else other than that. The shoulders are covered in this great paint, but the bicep and the hand is gray plastic. The paint matching is actually fairly decent, but if you look right in here, you can definitely tell this is green plastic. Not a big deal, just something I feel I need to point out. Yeah, overall, like I said, the actual physical look of the figure is just great. Like, he looks and feels like G1 Hound. And that's kind of the reason I got the figure, or the 5-pack as a whole. Now, granted, I got back into mainline super late, so I missed out on a lot of stuff. I still need to run about, but that's besides the point. So yeah, here is Hound on his own, and yeah, let's do a quick rundown of the articulation. I don't see the point in doing the articulation as a separate segment because of how small of a figure he is. So yeah, like I said, the ball jointed neck, that really doesn't get much movement out of it. Like, you get the slightest little semblance of up and down. Due to the way this pegs in, this rotates. He's got universals at the shoulders, the bicep swivel, it's a slightly above 90-degree bend at the elbow, a wrist swivel, which I will always appreciate. I will always appreciate a wrist swivel. Blech. Can you tell it's been a while? It's a little stiff, but he does have a waist swivel. No ab crunch. You know, not a big deal. He does have a cut thigh swivel. Doesn't really get much in the realm of movement, but the fact that it's there, I appreciate it. Hips go forward, back, in, and out. He has... You know what? I'll give it to him. He's got above 90 degrees of bend at the knee. And the ankle tilts. You know, one of the things on a figure's articulation that I genuinely just adore. Now, this is where doing the size comparisons for figures like him, or like figures with mainline, especially now, is a little on the weird side, because bearing in mind this is a deluxe. So real quick, for the sake of the size comparison, there's Legacy Gears. Yeah, Hound is clearly taller than him. Like, even though I've got him in a slightly scrunched down pose, he is still taller than Gears. Which, honestly, it's a carbot compared to a minibot. I get that that's not really the biggest thing, but I wanted to take this as an opportunity to emphasize on something and make abundantly clear this was something I had to get used to over time, but over time, I really learned to appreciate it. You're not paying for size anymore. Those days are done. We are paying now for strictly engineering. For the sake of engineering, while granted, This came out in a 5-pack. We've technically seen this figure multiple times over already. This is the first time we're ever seeing this. Engineering wise, these both do feel like deluxe figures. All the tricks that this pulls off and all the tricks that this pulls off, these feel like the engineering level of deluxe class Transformers. Now, if we were to bring a Voyager into this, then things become a little different. So now we swapped out gears for Hot Rod here. And as you can see, 86 Hot Rod, even though he is supposed to be a Voyager, if you literally look at the two toys, they basically are looking each other eye to eye. Like, you could argue that the Hot Rod is the slightest bit taller than Hound, but the reality of it is, this is a Voyager. That's a deluxe. So, the Voyager Hot Rod has a lot more transformation element to it, which is what makes him a Voyager, which I'm perfectly okay with. Where I really start to question the whole, we're not paying for size, we're paying for engineering, is when we bring Earthrise Leader Prime into the mix. Now, this is what the new leader class is. And under specific circumstances, I'm actually very much okay with it. This is not one of those instances. I like this as a toy, do not get me wrong. I love this Prime. Especially given the fact that this, like, there's a lot of history behind this one as to why it's all Reaper labeled up and such. Which, you know, whenever we get back on Scrapyard, I'll definitely try to take time to further explain it there. But, this Earthrise Prime is the leader class of the Earthrise days. And yeah, he is bigger than Hound, as he should be, but he's not, like, towering over him, you know what I mean? Like, this is where that whole, you're not paying for size, you're paying for engineering thing, really comes to a halt, because for the price you're paying, this should be bigger. This should be a lot bigger. Anyways, getting that time, I apologize, I went on a massive tangent here. Let's actually go into the proper final thoughts for the Hound figure on his own. Final thoughts wise, let's get into it. So, overall, here are my negatives. The connection point to the shoulder rocket, to his actual shoulder, not the best. Some of the connection points to his actual transformation, not the best. The way the vehicle mode comes together is really starting to show the mold's age. And, you know, like I said, the very limited head movement. I'm putting these in the negative segment entirely because, let's face it, even though I am utilizing these as the negatives, they're nitpicks at most. It is a really good toy, which is where we get into the positives. Positives wise, he articulates like a champ, he looks great, he fits the bill. Other than the head, the articulation that he does have works wonders. The one thing I forgot to mention, you can actually twist this actual missile piece off. I don't know if I'll go ahead and show it off real quick. You can actually twist this off and put something behind it to make it look like he launched it. More reminiscent to his toy than the cartoon, but the fact of the matter is you can do it. It's another nice little thing that this thing can do. Due to the fact that there's no spring-loaded gimmicks, he holds his balance very well. Yeah, overall, this is a very solid experience. In fact, I'm going to go ahead and say I would give this Hound a platinum. I think he's really good. So with that said, everybody, I apologize for the tangent like I said. I really do hope you guys are enjoying the new way the reviews are getting done. And JJ Prime, thank you for coming to my aid and helping me bring this video to life, and I very much look forward to the future of toy reviews with you, my friend. So, with that said, BC has taken up enough of y'all's time. Stay nerdy and get your geek on. I'll talk to y'all later.
Hey, wait a minute.
What the? Hey, Jackie?
What's going on?
You were asleep, so I really didn't want to wake you in.
What? BC, man, come on. You should know by now. Especially when your mental health hasn't exactly been the best. I've always got your back. You ever need me to get up and actually do a proper opening skit? Let me know.
Thanks, Jackie. I appreciate that.
You're welcome. Now, with that said, support the Jackie Foundation.
We're back to this? We're really back to this?